You guys are not intentional with your time. Somebody else will rob you of your time, and a lot of times you're robbing yourself of your time. And then your next day rolls over, and then the next thing rolls over, and then one freaking day that's a catastrophe rolls into the whole week, into the whole month, into the whole year. All right, what's up, guys? Listen up. Welcome back to another YouTube channel. I'm Austin Hancock. I'm a real estate investor, a prior Marine. I had multiple felonies as a young adult. I'm not very proud of, but I wanted to tell you guys that because I just want to let you know that I started from scratch, right? I started from scratch. What I want to deep dive into today and what we're going to talk about is time management. This is one of the number one things that I see people struggle with when they start their entrepreneurial journey. And that's because they're so acclimated to spending time how they're told to spend their time. And so you see the 9-to-5ers, you guys maybe have jobs, or you went to school in the public school systems or private school systems. And then you were raised where the bell rang, you went to the next class. When the bell rang, you had lunch. When the bell rang, you did the next thing. School was released. And then you went home and you were taught like, oh, this is your time. You can just fuck off and do nothing. And then what happens when you go to work? You know, you have to be at work at 7 o'clock. You get a lunch break at 12 o'clock. You get back to work by 1 o'clock and you work until 4 or 5 o'clock, depending on what kind of industry you're in, right? And so a lot of times we get on this clock, and then guess what? When you do with the extra time, you're like, oh, I'm just gonna piss it away because I deserve this time because somebody else was in control of my time before. But then when you crack into entrepreneurship and maybe you start creating your own schedule, or even if you're pissing away this dead time that you have as a 9-to-5er or even a commissioned person that's in the office, you guys need to understand if you don't control that time, the outside time, only the time that you can control, if you don't control that time to better yourself, to get a side hustle, to position yourself to better financial standpoint, to educate yourself, deep dive into courses, to read books, go to the library, they're freaking free. You don't use that time to educate yourself, to develop, to work out, and you're just going to waste your life away. It's just going to continue to fly by. But time management and managing that, you have to structure that. How do you do that, Austin? Oh, how do we do that? That sounds super easy for you. Wake up earlier. You can immediately buy more time back right there. Oh, I wake up at 6 o'clock. Well, yeah, now wake up at 4:30. Wake up at 4:30. Wake up at 4. A friend of mine just started waking up at 3:15 because his wife had to be at the gym at 5:30. He's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to do it. Wake up at 3:15. He's at the gym by 3:30. He leaves the gym by 4:30. He goes home, showers, and then she's off to the gym at 5:30. Boom. He made no excuses. Now, probably goes to bed early. He goes to bed at 8:30, 9 o'clock. So what? Is there something wrong with that? No, because he's progressing and he wanted to get it in. He also has time to read in the morning, right? There's some time in between there where he gets to go back home. He reads, he digests, he starts to self-develop. That's exactly what I equate my success to, is carving out these little times. When you have the opportunity, create the time. You have to create the time. I know that when you're at the beginning, you have jobs and you have obligations, you have things to do. People will eat your time alive. And let's jump into entrepreneurship. When you start your own business, you have no time. You're trying to do all these things. You're wearing all these hats. You're learning all of this stuff. And everybody's robbing you of your time. I want a phone call. I want a coffee. Want to meet me here. I got to meet this banker. Should I meet him in person? Should I not meet him in person? Should it just be a phone call? Could it just be an email? Could it just been in a meeting? Now I got to go to this event and network with this person. Hopefully they'll give me a loan. All of these things, right?
Hey, what's up, guys? Austin Hancock here. I get a lot of messages asking for some help in some capacity, whether it's financial, fitness, mindset, something to make your life better, something to make it to where you can go from this point right here, where you are now, to the dream life that you've always wanted to be living. Shoot me a text or give me a call, 405-697-4072. The number's right here, 405-697-4072. Call or text the number and let's change your life.
I see people that just jump into entrepreneurship. I have good friends of mine. They jump right into it. And guess what? They have piss poor time management. It's the number one problem. They don't follow a calendar. They have white space on their calendar, and so they think that's free time. They think that's time to spend 3 hours at the gym. They think that's time to drop their kids off for 4 hours. Half the days burn up, right? Don't get me wrong. I still get to go take my kids to school. I still get to go to the gym in the morning, but I'm very disciplined with the times that I have. I know that I leave at this time. I get home at this time. I do this from this time, and I'm very disciplined with that time. This time in the morning from X, Y to Z is going to be for me to deep dive into my work, to answer my emails, to do all this busy work, all this crap. And now I have this next time that I block out, and that time's for me to make the phone calls back, make sales calls, have meetings with clients, have meetings with members on our inner circle, people in my program. Boom, this time's for calls. This time's for working in the business. This time's for working on the business. This time's for working with my sales guy. This time's for working with my media guy. This time's blocked out to shoot content. This time's blocked out to review content. This time's blocked out for this. This time's blocked out to spend time with my family. You guys are not intentional with your time. Somebody else will rob you of your time, and a lot of times you're robbing yourself of your time. Well, I just got overwhelmed and I stayed too long for this. And then your next day rolls over, and then the next thing rolls over, and then one freaking day that's a catastrophe rolls into the whole week, into the whole month, into the whole year. But you guys have to start scheduling it. The best way you can schedule it, just start using Google Calendar. Right behind you guys, what I keep pointing at is my computer. And I have my Google Calendar up and I follow it. I even set appointments really quick. Boom, I'm like, oh, we have a meeting together, cool. I set the appointment, I can do it from my phone, I can do it from my iPad Pro. I try to make things very simple, and I try to do it instantly. Somebody tells you you're gonna have a meeting, schedule it. You gotta go to your schedule and block it out. Make sure you block out time for you. Something I've been bad about in the past is blocking out vacations, right? As an entrepreneur, we freaking forget to even block out vacations. Sometimes I need to step away, I need to regroup. Sometimes that's the most valuable time, is when I go and step away, take a vacation with my family for a week or two, unplug from everything, and then come back in with full force and excitement for the things that I'm doing again. But at the very beginning, guys, you have to be stupid disciplined, like insane. That's going to be the number one factor between being successful and not, because people piss all over their schedule and they waste so much freaking time. It's not even funny. My videographer is going to see this. He's going to edit this and chop this a little bit. But one of the things I talked to him about is I'm like, hey, buddy, you do X amount of reels and short form a day, right? Okay, what if you compress that and you were able to just work for 4 to 5 hours and get all of these shorts done in 1 to 2 days instead of having the whole week and working Saturday and Sundays and all this stuff? He was like, I don't know, I'll try it. I said, just try it. See how many you can get done, work really hard, get into deep work mode, get into editing mode, and then make it happen. He was like, dude, that was the best thing that ever happened to me. This is the freaking best. I said, of course I know, because I've been there. I had to learn these lessons. When you have 4 hours to do something, you'll use 4 hours to do something. If you have 15 minutes to do the 4 hours of something, you'll freaking work your ass off and prepare and then be ready when that 15 minutes hits, and then you're knocking it out. Don't give yourself the time. But if you're like, oh, well, you just roll into the day and like, what happens, and whatever, we'll see what my schedule holds. You know, I have a meeting here and I have a lunch here and I have to make some calls, but I'm pretty open. Dude, you're not getting anywhere. You're wasting your life. You're not incrementally making changes in your life to where you're going to see progression. So you have to start being very, very intentional about your time and about your life, because if you're not going to take it serious, no one else will. No one else is going to take your time serious. It's your time. And if you really want to be successful, if you really want to have all these things you fucking run your mouth about, then you have to actually become the person that has the time, the discipline, and block things out for that. Learning time, reading time, educating time. There's even times where I sit on the treadmill, boom, every morning, 30 minutes of the treadmill when I work out during the week. I'm going to listen to motivational information. I'm going to listen to a book. I'm going to listen to how to be a better father. I'm going to listen to how to be a better entrepreneur. I'm going to listen to this book. I'm going to listen to this podcast, and I'll block them out, and I'll know what I'm going to do. I'll throw something on, boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm set for the day, get a gym pump, I'm ready to go, come home, boom. I have breakfast time with my kids. After I shower from the gym, I take them to school. My wife heads off to the gym. That's my schedule now, but guess what? My schedule always wasn't like that. It's gonna always change. When I've moved homes, when I've changed jobs, when I've changed careers, when I started to be an entrepreneur, when I changed careers. It's a huge thing, right? One of the biggest things that helped me understand time management was being a project manager, was being a contractor, was being a general contractor for my own company. Because I had to coordinate all these trades. And what comes first? Well, you don't want to hire the painter and have him out there before the sheetrocker is done texturing. No, that would be stupid. You wouldn't hire the trim carpenter and tell him to get the lumber out there before the foundation's poured. No, you wouldn't. You'd have to coordinate that. You'd have to create a schedule for that. So that's something that I have that is a gift, because I learned that from construction. You have to manage projects. And when you're managing big projects, you guys that are in construction, you guys that are contractors, you have an advantage. If you're a shitty one, then you probably have shitty schedules, and it probably takes you twice as long to build a house or get a project done. That's the difference in a good contractor, right? Comment below if you guys are contractors. Make sure you leave me a message, because I know exactly how that's been. I ran commercial projects, ground up. I also ran remodel commercial projects on shopping centers. And my main bread and butter back in the day was custom homes, high-end custom homes. Listen, having an understanding of schedule, what comes first, what's priority. Let's talk about priority. You guys need to understand that there are priorities, right? What moves the needle? At the very beginning, you need money. You need to be on the phones for sales. You need to have a product ready to go. You don't need to go spend time talking about asset protection when you don't have any fucking assets. You have nothing to protect. Well, people will get on my calls, or I'll have new inner circle members that are ready to jump into real estate, and they'll start putting these barriers of entry to themselves. And they'll say, oh man, what about my LLCs? And should I have an LLC for every property? And should I have this? And should I have that? What about a website? What about a logo? What about a business card? Stop. I said, stop. You're putting all of this bullshit work in the way of the things that need to be done. You need to contact the lender, like I said, and you need to freaking start looking for deals. And you need to start running numbers on deals so that you have the education and to know what a deal is and what isn't a deal. That's it right there. Free game. Right there. That's what we need to start with. Okay? Yes, you need to set up a company. Call your CPA or Google a CPA. Boom. Who can help me set up my LLC for a real estate investing company? Or whatever you're doing. Bam, bam, bam. Get on the phone. Take the action. Knock it out. Boom. Set it up. Oh, we didn't have to set up a meeting with that person. Boom. Set it up. Put it on the calendar. Whoa. It's crazy, right? So understanding time and how much you're wasting of it is so important. You know, you can reconcile it. Take a little notepad, write your whole day out. Maybe get an agenda or one of those calendars that show the times throughout the day, right? Like old school. Before I had Google Calendar, guys, I'm gonna show you something right here. This is just a notepad, but before I had Google Calendar, I had one just like that. And what I would do is I would block out my times and I would write them in there with a pen in my truck. And I would carry it with me. Unzip, and it had the notepad in there. It had my calendar in the back. And I would block things out because when I would be in the field with meetings with people, I'd be like, oh, let me see if we can meet on that day. Yeah, I got to meet the trim carpenter over here across town. So I'm not going to be able to meet you at your house to do the walkthrough to make sure the paint touch-up's done. So let's look if we can do it on Wednesday instead of on Tuesday. So they're, oh, okay, no problem. Yeah, I can get off work. That's how you do it, dude. You got to freaking start facilitating your time. And then another thing to look at is your white space on your calendar. Your white space on your calendar. If you don't have anything going on, if you're an entrepreneur, you better fucking have something going on. That means it's time for you to block out to work on your business. I'm going to strategize my offer. I'm going to adjust my sales system. I'm going to educate myself. I'm going to read the book. I'm going to go network. I'm going to communicate. I'm going to spend my time in a positive manner so that I'm going to further myself down the road. I'm going to invoice. I'm going to hire a bookkeeper. I'm going to look for a bookkeeper. I'm going to put the ad out for a bookkeeper. You have to do all of this at the beginning. When you start getting better, when you start making more money, when you start growing, then what you can do is you can hire people for this, right? But then you have a level of expectation of delivery, right? That's one of the big things that I talked about with my videographers. I'm like, we have a level of expectation here. This is the standard because I know you can produce this. You produced it once, we can produce it again. Continue to do it and create a system. It'll get better. And then make sure you have the discipline to block out the time to finish the things you need. Because when you have the discipline to block out the time to finish the things that are a priority, then you're going to be able to create way more time to do other things. And then guess what, guys? There's always going to be shit that comes at you. Always, always, always. Whether you work for somebody, where you're commissioned, 1099, W-2, or you own your own business, you're always going to have shit thrown at you. There's going to be the phone calls. There's going to be the rejections of the lending. There's going to be the accident. There's going to be the kids sick at school. There's going to be all this shit. There's going to be traffic. And so you have to prepare for that. But we'll prepare for that when that happens. But we have already blocked out our stuff. So then you can start shifting. Hey, I'm going to be late to the meeting. There was a freaking accident, a rollover. I'm stuck in traffic literally on the 5. I can't make it. It's going to take me an hour before I can get to you. So we start moving meetings. We start moving. We start adjusting. Hey, maybe we can take this over a call. Sorry, I'm in my car. Or my kid's sick. I'm not going to be able to make it. Can we do a Zoom? All of this stuff. But you're going to figure out the solution during the time. So you should already prepare to have that blocked out. That's what winners do. That's what A players do. That's what people that are successful do. Control your time. I've seen people waste all their time driving across town to go to the gym, right? I love the gym. And the gym is an experience for me. And I have the ability to spend the time however I want. But one thing I never, ever, ever pissed away when owning my own business is I took my time and I took it very responsible. I didn't say, oh, now I'm an entrepreneur, I can golf on Tuesdays and golf on Thursdays. No, I viewed it as I'm broke as shit. If I don't put my freaking foot to my ass and work out all of the details to this, if I don't freaking hustle my ass off and fill my schedule with things that are gonna change my revenue and change my bank account and progress my business, I better work 10 times. Maybe that's the Marine in me. Maybe that's just me understanding the fact that how I knew how much work it was gonna take and I didn't care because I'm working on what I wanna build. And that's how you guys should evaluate it. That's how you guys should think about it. It's yours. And if you don't want it that bad, then get the fuck off the train. Stop talking about it. Because the reality is you need to take control of your life and you need to take control of your time. If you think you are given this gift, spending the weekend watching sports while you started your business, you're freaking wrong. You're not given that gift. Somebody else is getting ahead of you and you're getting smoke checked. You're getting left behind because you think you deserve this break. Will there be a time where you need a break, where you need this? Yes, there will be a time. But most of the time, people don't push on the accelerator enough. They don't block out enough things to actually deserve the time. You hear it all the time. I work out really hard and the guy's fat. Oh, I'm a hustler. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a grinder. I grind, hustle, blah, all that stupid shit you hear all the time on the internet. And you can look at him and be like, well, you really ground really hard, man. Your revenue is $500,000 a year. Ooh, you're crazy. You're a real grinder. Glad you're not competing with Elon Musk or anything. Makes no sense, does it? No, doesn't make sense. I'll throw the caveat in there. It is important to understand what success looks like to you. Make sure you have a schedule. You know what? In the future, if you're making the money you want to make, if you're living the life you want to live, if you don't have any needs to worry about and all your wants are freaking like, yeah, man, maybe if I worked a little harder, I could have a jet, or I could work a little harder, have a nicer car. And maybe you're just resting on your loins, becoming complacent, or you just want to spend some time in a different manner. Maybe you're that part of your life, right? Then go golf. You deserve it if you want to. That's a choice that you have at the time. That's a luxury you have from the successes that you've obtained. But don't get it twisted. Just because you decided to start your own business and you have zero success, or you're struggling financially, or your wife can't pay the bills, or you got a busted car, you don't deserve to go golfing. You don't deserve to go hunting and spending the money on the hunting trip when you can't afford to do the other things that you need to do for your family. You are a joke. What I'm saying is you gotta block out your time. You gotta take your time seriously, because if you don't, Your life will pass you by just like that. Fill your schedule up. Make sure you reconcile it, right? Literally reconcile it. Get a piece of paper out. Boom. Right the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep. What do? Then now you say, oh, good bitch. You're going to wake up 2 hours earlier. Now, yeah, you're going to work 2 hours after the kids go to bed. Oh, well, I have to have my kids and I have the games with my kids. Sure, that's cool. Do that. And when you get home, put the kids down, get the fuck on the computer, do what you got to do, finish your stuff up, shoot these YouTube videos when you don't want to, get the content out that you don't want to, write the email, create the business plan, to look at the bank account, pay the credit card. I get it. You have shit to do all the time. Block it out. Have a schedule. Do it. There's absolutely no excuse. Nobody is getting a jail-free card here. Whether they're making $100,000 or make $50,000 or they're making $100 million. You don't think the person making $100 million is the freaking blocking out their schedule? Have you guys seen what Donald Trump's doing lately? He's traveling all around. He's on a freaking tour. Whether you love him or hate him, the fact is that these guys have to freaking hustle. They're politicians. He's putting on a movement. What about bands, rock stars, anything like that, right? They're moving, they're running, they're gunning. They're not sitting there like, oh, no, today's time, I just get a break, or, maybe I'll have a coffee with my friend. No, be very intentional about your time. Don't let other people rob your time, and then make sure you're doing things that move the needle. Stop kidding yourself about how what you're doing now is gonna really change and revolutionize your business. It's not. So make sure you, one, block out your schedule, two, prioritize what you have to do. Execute on the things that need to be done. So that means do the work, block out the time. Guys, this is the things that help me the most as an entrepreneur, as a husband, as a man, as a Marine, as who I am today. Creating the time was the most important because most people will tell you they don't have time to go to the gym. They don't have time to do the business. They don't have time to be at home with their kids. They have to sacrifice one or the other. You don't. Now, will there be a little season in your life where, don't get me wrong, I've gotten home at 7, 8 o'clock, I haven't eaten dinner? Sure, definitely was little seasons of my life. And I had to sacrifice then, right? Were there seasons of my life where I feel like my kids were really young and babies and I had to help out around the house a little more and I probably could have been a little bit more better off in the business if I would have devoted more time to the office? What does that do? It makes you a better operator. It makes you a better leader because then you're like, oh, well, I still have to get that done too. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that done. No matter what happens, I'm gonna get it done. And there's time in between stuff. When you're driving from job to job, home, you could listen to the book. When your kids go to bed, boom, make a few notes in the morning, boom, slap your sheet together like I do. Then really reconcile the wasting of time that you're doing. You're wasting time. If your spouse has you doing dumb shit that's not helping the family or benefiting you, make sure that it's actually something that's needed. Well, what about fun, Austin? What about having some fun, right? That's what you're gonna say. Oh, well, you know what? You know what's fun to me? Winning. Having the life that I want. And I knew I was gonna have to sacrifice maybe riding some dirt bikes with my bros on the weekend or shooting some guns and doing that kind of stuff, right? It's gonna happen. What's more important to you in the grand scheme of life? That one little thing you did? No. And I'm not saying skip them all. I'm not saying skip them all because I'm a dude that understands that I could die tomorrow. So I want to live my life to the fullest. So it's a balance there, right? There's a little bit of a balance there. But I know that I enjoy living the life that I live now way more than and I was never not happy, right? I was happy, but I was just hungry for more. If you guys are hungry for more, then keep watching these videos. I appreciate you watching my YouTube channel. If you guys want to learn more in-depth stuff, you need to join our school community. There's going to be a link down here in the bio, and I want you to join the school community or at least connect with us down here below. I know you guys saw an advertisement in this video. Go back and text me. That's my number. Go text me, pause the video, text me, and let's communicate. If you guys are struggling putting a schedule together, if you're struggling, just like, I don't care if you're an employee, if you're a blue collar hourly employee, if you're a 1099, or if you're a super successful dude, it's like, how can I freaking sharpen this pencil? How can I become this tip of the spear when it comes to this? That's what we do. So message us down below. Thanks for watching your YouTube video. It helps us out when you like, when you subscribe, when you watch the channel more, and comment. Hey, thanks guys. I'm Austin Hancock. See you next time.